Okay, a big welcome to day 4 of our Overcoming Stress devotional from the Art Gallery of New South Wales here in Sydney, and also the home of Speaker's Corner. So if you hear a voice behind me, it's one of the local people. So today's devotional from the Bible app is called Peace is Possible. So we've learned that stress causes all sorts of chaos inside our bodies, which actually prevents us from being able to think clearly. And because of that, when we're stressed, we can often say things like, the walls are closing in, or I just can't right now, or it's all too much. Stress can make you feel like there's nowhere to turn and nowhere to breathe, which is interesting because the word stress comes from a really old Latin word that means drawn tight. Pretty accurate, right? So when we're focused on our stress, it can feel like the world is closing in on us. But here's the good news. God gives us a better way. Psalm 118 verse 5 in the NIV says this: When hard pressed, I cried to the Lord. He brought me into a spacious place. We don't have to live drawn tight, stressed out lives. When we cry out to the Lord, He will bring us into a spacious place because our God is an abundant God. But here's the key. We have to get out of our own heads. When we rely on ourselves, we are drawn tight. But when we turn to God, He brings us to a spacious place. So how do we overcome stress? We've got to get out of our heads and into God's presence. When it feels like the walls are closing in, invite God in. When you feel like you just can't, even right now, you're right. But God is waiting to give you a spacious place. Just cry out to Him. Our stress is an opportunity to allow God to be God. It allows Him to give us the spacious place He has for us. In that same psalm, he talks about how God's faithful love endures forever, and that it is better to take refuge in the Lord than in people. We may have ways to cope with stress, but the only way to overcome stress is by taking it to Jesus. So today, remember that peace is possible, even when it may not feel like it or seem like it. Peace is possible in the presence of Jesus. Challenge. Pray that God would bring you to a spacious place. Surrender your stress to God and rely on His presence and His peace. Spend some time praying and listening to Him in silence today. So Psalm 118 verse 1, give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever. Let Israel say, His love endures forever. Let the house of Aaron say, His love endures forever. Let those who fear the Lord say, His love endures forever. When hard pressed, I cry out to the Lord. He brought me peace. He brought me into a spacious place. The Lord is with me. I will not be afraid. It goes on. I haven't got time to read it all. Psalms 118:5. When hard pressed, that's the one I just read. I cried out to the Lord. He brought me into a spacious place. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the Lord of peace will be with you. So Father, I just pray today that we can get out of our own heads and that we can just seek you, cry out to you, so that your peace will come to us. We thank you, Jesus. I pray for everyone watching this, that you will find peace. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.